The affectionate nature of dogs makes them inclined to shower us with love. Knowing that dogs enjoy human company, finding out that one doesn't like you can be quite impactful. It's already disheartening enough when you approach a strange dog and it doesn't want to be petted. But when you adopt a new dog into your family and it doesn't seem to like you, it can feel even more discouraging. In this video, we're going to talk about 12 signs that a dog might not be your biggest fan. Number 12. They don't wag their tail when they see you. You can learn a lot about your pet's feelings by closely observing their tail. If you approach your dog and they start wagging their tail in a positive manner, it means your furry friend is content and happy to see you. A lowered tail, on the other hand, is an unmistakable indicator that the dog is nervous or scared. It's important to note that not every wagging tail signifies friendship. Wide and fast wags suggest that the dog is happy, especially when the dog's rear end is also moving along with their body. On the other hand, a tail wagging slowly and reluctantly usually indicates that the dog is unsure about the situation. Pay attention to the subtle movements of your dog's tail to understand how they're feeling. Number 11. They don't want affection after eating. Dogs are pack animals that crave companionship. If your dog enjoys playing or lying down with you, that's a good thing. It means they see you as part of the pack and find your company and attention enjoyable. Even more so, if your dog seeks affection after eating, that's a sign they love you. Post-meal affection shows a strong bond of love between the owner and the dog because it demonstrates that your dog doesn't see you merely as a food provider. On the other hand, if your dog is actively ignoring you, that's generally a sign they're not happy, and you might need to figure out why. However, remember that dogs often try to hide discomfort. Dogs who begin acting differently with their favorite humans might be trying to conceal a health issue or injury. A sudden behavior change like this may warrant a visit to the vet. Number 10. They don't make eye contact with you. Animal behavior specialists believe that a dog's ability to look a human in the eyes in a non-aggressive way was one of the first steps in canine domestication. Somehow, they learned that humans like eye contact, and by gazing into a person's eyes, they build a meaningful relationship. When your dog is willing to look lovingly into your eyes, it's a sign that they trust and understand you. On the flip side, if a dog isn't your biggest fan, they will avoid your gaze and move away. This is because most of the time dogs prefer fleeing over fighting. By looking away from you, your dog is trying to keep the peace and avoid confrontation. Number 9. They don't seem to want to sleep in your room. Wolves and wild dogs deliberately sleep in small, confined areas with trusted pack members to protect themselves from predators. Our dogs see us as part of the pack and feel they can rely on us for protection in case of danger. So, if your dog doesn't want to sleep in the same room as you, there may be a trust issue. Number 8. They ignore your commands. Some people think that training a dog depends only on the animal, but in reality, it involves the bond shared between both sides of the leash. If a dog doesn't trust the owner, they will be less likely to respond well to training. In fact, many people who adopt newly rescued dogs struggle with training because of a lack of trust. Many rescue dogs have seen the worst of humanity through abuse, punishment, and abandonment, and trusting their new families isn't something that comes naturally. While training from the start is important, it may take a few months for a rescued dog to realize their new family is permanent. Additionally, research published in the journal Developmental Science shows that dogs ignore information they consider unnecessary. So, if your pet is suddenly ignoring your commands, it's a sign that they're unhappy with you. Number 7. They wag their tail to the left when they're near you. It may be hard to notice, but a dog wagging its tail to the left is a sign that they are wary of another dog or person they don't trust. Recent studies suggest that a tail wagging to the left indicates negative feelings, such as fear or stress. Dogs may display this behavior when they're in the presence of a dominant dog or an unfamiliar person. On the other hand, a tail wagging to the right indicates positive feelings or that the dog is relaxed. Often, dogs show this behavior when they love their owner. Number 6. They disappear whenever you're around. If your furry friend insists on keeping their distance from you, there's a good chance they're trying to avoid you on purpose. Dogs, most of the time, prefer walking away rather than behaving destructively. So, if your dog disappears every time you enter the room, it's a clear sign they feel threatened or upset and want to keep their distance. But remember, hiding can also be a sign of illness. So, if your pet is frequently vanishing around the house, it's time to call the vet. If you're enjoying this video and would like to see more like it, make sure to subscribe to the channel and give this video a thumbs up, because that way, you let YouTube know you're enjoying our videos and want to see more content like this. Thank you. Number 5. They don't relax when you're nearby. Sleeping puts a dog in a very vulnerable position. A happy dog will nap, relax, and even expose their belly. Normally, dogs worry about safety and won't expose their vulnerable parts when they're unsure about their surroundings. So, if your dog doesn't lower their guard when you're around, it might be that they feel uncomfortable in your presence. In this sense, remember that if your dog sleeps on their side or belly up, it's an indication that they have no worries, are relaxed, and feel comfortable in the environment without any doubts about it. Number 4. They refuse your treats. Your dog isn't foolish. Most animals will show that they are uncomfortable with a particular person by feeling fear, sadness, or refusing a treat. If you've ever noticed your furry friend isn't interested in the treats you offer after going to the vet, that's likely the reason. Number 3. They don't bring you gifts. One of the cutest things dogs do when they trust you is give toys, bones, or random objects as a gift. You might not be interested in your dog's ragged tennis ball, but the fact that they are willing to share it with you is a sign of true affection. This is because most dogs are possessive of their belongings. They trust you enough that they'd let you take a bite of their bone, knowing that you'll share or return the object. If your dog isn't willing to share their toys with you, it might be a sign that they don't trust you enough yet. Number 2. They prefer spending time with someone else. You come home and find your beloved dog snuggling with a family member on the couch, but when you try to join in the fun, the dog runs off. You might also start noticing that your furry friend is following other members of the house, but they don't look at you. If your dog turns to others for affection and interaction but consistently ignores you, that's a clear sign the problem isn't them, it's you. Number 1. They don't like being touched. Petting a dog soothes them, shows that you love them, reduces stress, and improves the bond between owner and animal. While there may be times when your dog simply isn't interested in being petted, if they regularly shy away from being touched, it's a sign of a problem. I want to remind you that the goal of this video is not to make you feel sad, but rather to help you better understand your dog.